So I don't remember that one sentence what you suggested me to tell about you, that you are just a regular guy or
Generally, a nice guy.
generally nice guy. Uh, so I present you everybody generally nice guy Toms Eisaks. He will tell about how he works from home with three kids and kind of manages to do what has to be done.
Yeah, thank you.
Now I turn off my mic and it's your time, Toms.
All right, thank you. Yeah, so my name is Toms. First things first. I must say that everything what I am saying is my personal opinion and not companies I came from. That's been said, we can continue. So the thing is, working from home. Yeah, you will see it. So something about me. I'm a father of three, so I have older son, which is around 4.5 years old, and then I have a twins, so a boy and a girl, and they in March, yeah, I think I'm in March. They got 3 years old, yeah. So basically, very interesting combination, and bottom line that house is always in chaos, and yeah. Also, I am a husband to my wife. Cat person, certainly don't have magic powers, and working at Accenture, which basically consulting clients all over the Europe, and my work consists of it, lots of meetings, and so basically everyone knows my kids. So let's move forward. How to work from home? Simply, I don't know. I will try to explain why, because we are all different, and we have different type of kids. Let's put it that way. Yeah, different age groups. I know from my perspective about my kids, but I don't know how this are working and how people are managing older kids and so on. From my point of view, I think it's easier because at least they have responses better than my kids. Of course, there's no unique formulas, and I always want to always say how you are dealing this, and then I answer with that raising one kid is not the same as raising two kids, and raising two kids is not the same as raising three kids. And perfect example. So if you take some sort of interesting book about how you work with your kids and so on, it works on one kid. So if I take one my child and take that book, try this, it works. When I add the second one, doesn't work at all. It's completely different. And for me, it's just the reasoning that the kids are just catalysts for each other, and they basically are turning on each other all the time. Yeah, this is why I generally don't know how basically we can easily work. So one option is just, okay, if you have a room different and you have like a cabinet, but in my case I don't have it, and all of these things are happening in one room. Nevertheless, that I have 2-room apartment, yeah, but all the things is happening in the living room. These are the things what basically I try to use it. Of course, I have my own corner in my 60 square apartment, but like I said, it's all action is happening in here. And this could be the most important part, that even if you don't have different rooms or maybe kitchen, but for me kitchen is for eating, not for working, then you need to find somewhere a corner and where you can work. Working on the couch or just in random chair is not an option. Yeah, and also the most important thing, at least for me, what we try to do is explain the current situation, why we are here, why I'm working, why my wife is working, and talk with them a lot. Like every day we are explaining this, kind of helping, but at the same time, no. But at least I have observation that my working place is like a no-no zone for them. But still, they mostly don't care about that. But at least the most important thing that they are not pressing buttons on my computer. I don't know, but from somewhere after these talks and explanations and so on, they are not pressing. They are sitting at my, if I'm leaving the chair, yeah, going to, I don't know, grab something, they are sitting in my chair straight away, like moving in my chair and sitting there, but they are not pressing the buttons. It's different story for wife computer. They are pressing all the time buttons, but yeah, we are still working with that. The also thing is that especially when you have some sort of meetings, online meetings, when you need to present or need to participate or something, don't be ashamed that you are working with home with your kids and there's some sort of background noises and some action is going and so on. And also don't shame yourself. Yeah, this was the first thing that's when we understand that we all need to work from home, that idea that knowing what is happening usually at my house, the perfectly organized chaos, this will be very difficult. Yeah, but for time being, if I'm not mistaken, I'm working around already 2.5 months. Yeah, from home. Yeah, 2.5 months. First week was very interesting. Very much explaining, but we started to see something that's going better. Also, don't act as they aren't there. Especially if the kids are at my age, they need constant attention. They are fighting to each other. They need to be calm. They need to just to talk. They just comes here randomly show something that they draw or something. Yeah, don't ignore them. This is very important because they are kids and they are your kids and they are still part of their life, and for those 8 hours or X amount of hours when you are working, yeah, you cannot just shut them out. Yeah, it's not the right thing to do. For it will get back in later stages. Also, one of the things that don't be afraid of using technologies. Give some tablets or phones, or allow kids play with some computer games and so on. Of course, for limited time, because in that point of time they are alone with those gadgets, and then you have basically calm meeting and you can actually plan some sort of activities for yourself. If you have some important meetings, you can then just in that point of time just give gadgets to them. But of course, we still limit them the time they can do that. So basically 3 hours a day, and it's helping. The thing is, it's helping that they are with gadgets, but still it doesn't help with the background noises when the fights are coming up. Also have some routines. At least what we're trying to do is ask them to draw something, and all the time. So we show them various paper where are all the necessary things to draw them. So there's separate place. So they are taking that, doing that. So we try to kind of make them busy at the time. But of course, they will come and show what they draw it and so on. And still, I need to respond to that even in the middle of a meeting when I'm presenting something. Yeah, and of course, there's option for nanny. Luckily for us, it's quite very good actually, Nani, that we can very depend on all the time. But in these cases, yeah, in these times, could be the need to be like, oops, sorry, careful about that. Yeah, and these are the things that I'm kind of trying to take in consideration when I'm working. It was very hard at the beginning, and that's why basically the next slide is that you are failing all the time, and still there's chaos and so on. But we can see that in times it's proving. It's all the time it's proving. Each day is actually different, and this explaining them, talking with them that we are working, that dad is busy is still there. Nevertheless, I never turn off option to come or talk to my children in the middle of something, yes, because they are at home, they are with us. Yeah, and story about the dog, which kind of interesting for me was, I was discussing this whole situation, what is going around with my colleague, and he drops such interesting sentence that, this could be great time for the dogs. And I was like, why? And he replied that because the owner of the dog is always at home. And this is basically the same for the kids. You are at home, they are at home, they are generally happy that you are at home all day, not only those 2 weekends, yeah, that you are home with them and can spare the time. They are generally happy. And yeah, this is the most important time. Not most important thing, that we look also the things from their perspective of view. Because if we understand that, it's way easier to work and life gets better in that sense. Yeah. Yeah, this kind of was small because I just wanted to share my opinion and how we are doing, without any some sort of technologies and so on. Because, like I said before, we each are raising our kids separately, and these are the things that are working for me, and looks like working for my kids. Yeah, thank you. Stay safe and remember about dogs.
Thank you, Toms, for sharing. So again, if anybody has questions, you are welcome to ask them here. Are you, Toms, at Slack as well?
Yeah.
So then people can find you in Slack. Maybe while we are waiting, so I will drop a link to feedback form. There's link to feedback form about Toms. And I wanted just to, maybe I can add a bit about this corona and stuff. My kids are, I have kids 9 and 10, kind of 10 and 11, they will be soon. They are going school class 3 and 4, grade 3 and 4. And what we decided with my wife, we know how huge place where we live, but I kind of have opportunity to lock in. Maybe I can share my video as well. Then while I am talking, then people can see me as well. Otherwise, it's weird that you are sitting and some of these others' voices in the background. And so what? I kind of have a place where to lock from my family, but our living space is that if kids start shouting, I can hear it, and I am disturbed about it. But one of the main things we decided in the very beginning with school and stuff and learning, and that the relationship is more important than anything else. So we decided that our main goal in this current self-isolation time is to maintain good relationship, and even if school will struggle from that, or whatever will happen, if we will get through with good relationship, then we will win, whatever will be later. But if we compromise on relationship, then that will be really bad. So yeah, that's just my 5 cents about the topic.
Yeah, this is the thing. So if you start to go over that part, it will kick back later, and at least, and I don't know, from my point of view. So if I will say that leave me alone in this time, yes, I probably will suffer later, because they will understand that, yeah, leave that alone, yeah, and that's it, and this will go further deeper in the future, and basically I will not have a great time afterwards when they get older, yeah. And that's why, yeah, it's very important not to make suffering before because of that, yeah.
Okay, thank you for sharing your experience so far with working from home. I think let's just wait for 1-2 minutes for questions, if something will appear here in a live stream. Meanwhile, if you have good suggestions how to do it better, I'm open for suggestions. Write them to edgars@devclub.lv. If you can't remember my name, you can write to info@devclub.lv. Just keep in mind that if these good solutions cost money, then maybe they are not so good anymore. Yeah. What else I didn't remind about, or didn't? I think I told about everything. I dropped a feedback link here, and also in Slack. And just I beg you, everybody, please give us feedback about all speakers' talks in those 3 forms separately. We need it. If you have suggestions about good speakers or good topics or important topics for future DevClubs, also we are interested to hear them. You can send them to my email or info@devclub. What else? Yes, and if you have some spare web camera, I'm ready to buy it for reasonable price, of course, not for 250 euro, as some people want to sell right now. Then
It'd be easier to buy a new laptop with the camera new.
Laptops don't have HD cameras, so the video will be just a bit better. So yeah, it will be not with scratched glass in the front, but something is here. What is your opinion to work from home at night when the kids are sleeping? Toms.
Have to sometimes. Don't see any problems, but yeah, but usually this is the very interesting part, that when you try to be very quiet, usually you are very loud, especially at night. So if you're trying to make a coffee, most likely everyone will hear it. But yeah, if people can work at night, why not?